I just wanted to say that I'm really sorry that I had to take off early so suddenly. Was the rest of the meeting okay? Did everything go well? Oh, hey there, Sally. Yeah, I think the rest of the meeting went fine. If you're really curious, though, the notes are up on the shared drive. You might want to give this a quick look over earlier when you get to the office tomorrow. You really are the best, you know that. I really am so grateful for you taking that over for me. I mean, you basically did my work for me. Well, I get that life can be hectic and that sometimes you need to call on others for help. But anyways, I heard that you weren't feeling well. Is everything okay? Right, well, that was the excuse that I gave. I did tell people that I wasn't feeling good so I could leave. So then you're saying that you're not really sick at all? I'm sorry, why did you leave work then? Well, that's because I wanted to leave work early, of course. Wait, what? So you just lied to get out of work today? Are you kidding me? I know, it's bad, but I just had something important that I had to get done today. I didn't have any choice. I had to go. But I knew that having to explain all that to our boss was going to take forever, so I just pretended that I wasn't feeling all that great. I see. Well, did you take care of the business that you had to leave to attend to? Yes, I did. I actually just finished right now, so I'm all done. Well, that's good at least. Okay then, I guess I'll just see you at work tomorrow then. Oh wait, that's not all I had to say to you. I actually have something that I just have to tell you. You have something you have to tell me? Well, what is it? I have to tell you about what it was that I had to leave work to take care of. The truth is that I went to the city courthouse. Well, that makes sense, I guess. The best time to go get stuff done there is probably during the weekend while everyone's at work. That's right. And the thing is that the reason I had to go was because I had to sign papers to officiate my wedding. I wanted to get it all done so that they could be processed by tonight. I just couldn't wait any longer, and I really wanted to do this right now. Hold on a second. You were at the courthouse to sign wedding papers? Is that right? Exactly. The reason why I had to leave work early was so that I could get married. Oh my gosh, I had no idea that you were even engaged. This is amazing news. Congratulations. Is that what you wanted to tell me, that you had gotten married? Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. After all, I know that I've come to you with a lot of problems and things that I want to discuss, so I just wanted you to know this. I see. So I take it that you must have married that man that you're always talking to me about then, right? Yeah, he finally decided to propose to me, and I just couldn't wait. So I wanted to go to the courthouse and do our civil ceremony right away. Not only that, but it's also my man's birthday, so it was the perfect day to do this. Hold on a second. So you got married today, which is also your husband's birthday? Are you surprised? I knew that you would be. After all, your husband's birthday is today as well, right? Wow, you sure do have a head for some dates. I didn't even know that you knew anything about my husband. Well, it's not hard to know all that when my husband and your husband are the same person. Wait, what? I don't get it. What do you mean by that? You still haven't figured it out yet, have you? I'm telling you that the man I was always going to ask you advice about, the man who I am now married to, is none other than your husband. Wait, I'm still not following here. Seriously, what are you talking about? Let me put this simply for you. Your husband and I were having an affair behind your back. It's pretty funny when you think about it. But whenever I've talked about my boyfriend, the nights we've spent together, the trips we've gone on, everything was always about things I was doing with and to your husband. But now that you know the truth, I really just can't help but laugh. It really is so funny that it took me telling you for you to figure it out. You can't be serious, right? Are you really having an affair with my husband? I have said pretty much that in at least 3 different ways now. But you know, affair makes it sound so dirty. The truth is that Jerry and I love each other, and now I'm his wife. Wait a second. So you're telling me that you went to the court to get married today, and the man who signed those papers as your husband was my husband, Jerry? That's exactly what I'm saying. Are you finally starting to put it all together now? But that can't be. I mean, Jerry and I aren't even divorced, unless you're also telling me... That's right. You've already been divorced, and you didn't even know. He did it 3 days ago. You mean that Jerry divorced me 3 days ago? But I don't remember ever signing or agreeing to anything at all. I don't get it. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. You see, your husband asked me to look at examples of your handwriting, and so I just forged your signature. And then Jerry and I went to the courthouse together to submit those papers. But that's illegal. Sally, you're admitting to a crime right now. You realize that, right? A crime? What are you talking about? I don't get how anything that helps two star-crossed lovers like us marry each other could ever be a crime. We were only doing what we had to do before we could get married, you see? I don't know what to say right now. Well, I certainly hope that you're not going to try and put up a fight about this. It's too late anyways. What's done is done. But, I mean, to think that Jerry would actually cheat on me with you? Well, he didn't cheat on you. He was only sleeping with his future wife before I became his wife. So I think you need to realize that he is all mine and no one wants you. You two are divorced now and you're nothing to him. So I want you to pack up your things so that you can leave your house and make room for me. I'm sorry, you're telling me to move out of my own house? Well, no duh. I know that you and Jerry live together in that huge place, right? That house has got to be at least $1 million. I told Jerry that I want to live there with him. I've already started packing my bags. The only thing that's left is for you to move out. And once I move in, I'm finally going to quit my job and become a housewife. Is that really your plan? You're going to quit just like that? Have you even told anyone from the office that's what you're doing? I was actually going to tell the people who needed to know after I finished talking with you. But I just needed to make sure that you knew this had all already happened and that there would be no point in fighting it. So after work, why don't you just go home, pack up your things, and get out of my husband's life? Anyways, Jerry and I have a little dinner date to celebrate our getting married. I've got to go now. Wait, what? You can't just say all of that and then just run off without any further explanation. That's crazy. Jerry, what in the world is going on right now, huh? Did you seriously divorce me and get married to another woman? You realize that we were still in the middle of working a lot of things out, weren't we?
Well, I figured that this was just the easier way to do things. Besides, I didn't think you'd go along with the divorce if I brought it up.
That's because I only found out that you were cheating on me a week ago. We were still in the middle of talking about what we were going to do. But I guess you already know what you wanted to do since you went and got us divorced. What in the world were you thinking doing that, huh?
Well, I thought that it was the only way I'd be able to marry Sally. Don't you get it? I mean, did you really think that I would choose staying with you when I have a young, pretty thing like Sally waiting for me instead? Why would I do that to myself? I tried explaining that I wanted to end things, but you just weren't having it.
You really have some nerve, do you know that?
Well, you can only blame yourself. I told you about how I wanted to marry a woman who was a housewife. You were the one who said that you wanted to keep working and you didn't want to be cooped up in the house.
And just how do you think we're supposed to pay off our mortgage with a single income? Don't you realize that we can't afford me to quit my job and stay at home? I mean, you certainly don't make enough to keep up with all the payments on different things that we have to make. Why would you just go and do this?
Oh, don't worry about the mortgage. I already paid it all off. That was around the time when I asked you if you wanted to quit your job and become a housewife instead.
You really think that that was the only reason we had to worry about money? I know how much of a big spender you are. There is just no way we could ever afford me to quit my job.
See, there you go again. Not listening to me. I'm telling you that you can quit your job and let me take care of you. And you're just shooting me down right away without even thinking about it. So like I said, you really have no one to blame but yourself for this one. How can I feel that you really love me if this is the way that you're acting?
What does any of this have to do with how I love you?
Well, if you really love me, then you just do whatever I said when I said it, right?
You can't be serious about that, right? Please tell me that that's supposed to be some kind of bad joke.
Yeah, you're just proving my point, you know? Anyways, it doesn't matter now, because we're divorced. And I have a new wife as of today, so I'm afraid that you can't stay at the house any longer. I want you to pack up your bags and leave, Irene.
Are you kidding me? You know that you can't just kick me out, right?
Well, I told you last week that I wanted to get a divorce. I told you I wanted to marry someone else.
I know exactly what you were doing. I know that you wanted to divorce me just so that you could marry this other woman. But we still had so much to talk about. We weren't through discussing alimony, lawsuits for the affair, how to split our assets, all of that stuff.
You already know who it is that I'm married to now, right?
That wasn't even on the list of things that I wanted to talk with you about.
Well, the point is that I put up the money for this house and I want to live with the person I love. I just don't need you anymore.
So you're telling me that you really love Sally? So much so that you're willing to just kick me to the curb like this? That's how badly you want to be living together with Sally?
Yeah, does the factor of divorce not tell you all that you need to know? Don't talk to me like we're married anymore.
Well, fine then. I guess since you both want this so bad, there's really no point in arguing anymore.
It's more than just a want for this. It's a need. Our hearts are tied to one another, and that's why we can't live without each other. We're soulmates. Don't you get that? We're always going to end up together because that's what the universe wants for us. We're only following the universe's plans for us by getting rid of anything in our lives that might keep us apart. And that includes you. Now that I've met Sally, I know that there's nothing else I need. And with that, I say goodbye.
Wait, what? You're just going to quit talking to me just like that? We still have things that we need to discuss, Jerry. Hey, answer me right now. I'm serious. Hey there, Irene. I just wanted to say good work yesterday. I called the office yesterday and I found out that you also ended up taking some time off, didn't you? Don't tell me that you had to use some of your paid time off to pack up all your things just for me. You have got some nerve coming back to talk to me after you told me what you were doing with my husband. Well, I really am sorry that things had to end up the way they are. I'm sure that you're going through a lot of difficult emotions right now, but that better not slow you down while you're moving out. You are clearing out a space for me at Jerry's house, right? Have my bags already arrived there? Your bags? What are you talking about? Have you already started sending your stuff over? Haven't you heard? I'm going to be moving into that house from today. Jerry and I want to start living together as soon as possible. So that's why you need to keep packing up your things. Don't keep me waiting too long. Wait a second. You mean that you were going to move into this house from today? Well, of course I was. Once you move out, there's really no need to wait any longer, is there? That's why I thought you'd be done by now. Didn't I tell you that that house was my dream house? I've always wanted to live in a huge place like that, and being there with Jerry is just going to make it perfect. I see. Well, you know, even though I'm fond of the house, I don't think that Jerry wants to give it up. But the house is worth so much more than when we first bought it, you know? Well, I'm just so excited to be living in my dream house with my dream man, tending to my garden while he's at work and then making sure dinner's ready before he gets home. It's going to be simply amazing. But first, you have to move out of there so that I can move in. Just keep an eye out for my luggage when it gets there and bring it into the house for me. I don't need you to do anything else for me after that. You really think that you can just boss me around like this? You must really think that I'm going to just get up and leave. I don't really know what you think because I already know what's going to happen. You and Jerry are divorced. You shouldn't be living together. You need to just get your things and go. That way I can finally be with my soulmate for the rest of my life. Right. Well, the only problem there is that I own this house. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Jerry told me about how he was the one paying for the house, so that means that it's his house, right? I don't know what else to say except that it's my name on the mortgage. But that can't be right. That's my dream house. You can't be the real owner. I'm not sure what you've heard about the house from Jerry, but the house has always belonged to me since we moved in there. You have to be lying to me. Jerry said that he was the one who paid the loan. Well, the loan is certainly paid off, but I was the one who paid it all. But that can't be right. It is. I paid for the house, the utilities, the insurance, everything. I can show you some of the bank statements I have that prove it all. Please tell me that this is some kind of bad joke or something. If you don't believe me, then that's really on you, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth. I own the house. But Jerry told me that the house cost over $1 million, and if you paid for everything, then just where did you get that money from? Oh, come on, you don't really think that I could afford to have all that money lent to me with our salaries? I don't understand. How did you get all of that money in the first place then? How did you afford to get a loan large enough to cover all that? My dad took out the loan for me, if you must know. Oh, wait a second. You mean you asked your dad for help? That's right. My dad owns his own business, so he has quite a bit of capital and has access to those kinds of loans. So I asked my dad if he could co-sign my loan, and in the end, he ended up accepting liability for about 4/5, while I took on 1/5 of the total amount. But then because my dad paid off the loan, I was basically just repaying my dad with no interest. So when I finished paying for the house, I really just finished paying my dad back. But then, doesn't that mean that the house would actually belong to your dad in that case? Well, my dad actually passed away last year, but before he did, he changed the name on the deed to me and I inherited the land. But then, how did Jerry end up thinking that the house was his? You two started seeing each other about a year ago now, right? I think that Jerry was so obsessed with his little love affair that he didn't even bother to check about the process. He was always too busy lying about being busy with work to check that his name had been put on the deed as well. When my dad died, he told me to handle everything by myself, and so I did. So then, he didn't even make sure that his name was on the deed? That's right. So not only did I end up paying for the house, but I also have legally and properly inherited it. But then, if you're the real owner of the house, then that means that I won't be living there. No, it means neither you nor Jerry is going to be living here, since Jerry has no right to stay here now that we're divorced. So I suppose you two will just have to find somewhere else to live. But you can't do this to me. I already sent my bags over there. Right, well, when the delivery person comes, I'll just refuse to sign for the packages. Don't worry. But if you don't pick up all my things, then what's going to happen to them? Won't they get sent back to me or something? I don't know. Why don't you go call Jerry and ask him to figure it out for you? I have to go and call my lawyer to tell them that I'll be pressing charges for the affair you two were having. Although I guess since I imagine you've already canceled your lease and are all packed up, you probably don't have a place to live anymore. So I guess I should have my lawyer send his letter to your parents? You want to send the letter saying that you're suing me to my parents? Why on earth would you do that? Well, don't you think they should know about the crimes you committed? And I'm not just talking about the cheating, you also impersonated me by forging my signature. Oh, come on, you're not really upset about that, are you? I told Jerry that I would divorce him when we worked out all the details of how it would happen. Instead, you and him snuck around and ended our marriage out of convenience for yourselves. And if you think that I'm going to take that kind of identity theft lightly, then you're dead wrong. Anyways, I'll go ahead and tell my lawyer to forward those letters to your parents' house. After that, the delivery person with Sally's bag showed up. I followed through on what I said and refused to sign for them. I heard that Sally and Jerry had to spend 2 hours trying to collect their bags from the mailroom. I heard that Sally did end up moving back in with her parents, but when they found out what she had done and the trouble she was in, they kicked her out before a week had even passed. Now, Sally and Jerry lived together in a cramped apartment. They couldn't afford anything more since their jobs found out about what happened. They were both severely demoted. The day Jerry moved out of my house, I took some of my dad's favorite snacks and went to go visit his grave, where I told him all about what happened to me.